But everywhere you go, there I am. Yeah, whether you like it or not. There's that. Good to see you, Susan. Good to see everybody. I see Sandra. There's Karen. Maggie's here. Lynn. Good to see everybody. Got a few more people tuning
Ladies'
in here.
Day.
What's that?
Ladies' Day.
It's Ladies' Day.
Yeah,
So
it's all you
far.
got's ladies.
Well, lucky me. How did I get to be so fortunate? Look at this. You're right. Good times, Sandra. It's actually Fun Friday. So welcome everyone to our daily success call for Friday, the 22nd of April, 2022. John Lavenia here with you. Somebody's got to tell a joke. And if you got any
I
dogs.
got it.
All right, Susan, come on down.
Why shouldn't you write with a broken pencil?
I don't know.
Because it's pointless.
It's oh my goodness. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Hey, Alex here. So it's not a ladies' club anymore. Yeah.
No.
Oh well. All right, Alec. You get to share the time with me and the ladies here today. But good to see you all. Very very good. Thank you, Susan. You can tell it's Fun Friday because I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt or a Bahama shirt. It's actually a Tommy Bahama shirt. I used to buy a lot of Tommy Bahama stuff, and I don't typically wear silk or light colors because I've got two dogs and a big motorcycle and lots of other stuff that I do that gets things dirty really easily. So, but anyway, good to see you all. I'm having some of you were involved in our webinar that happened yesterday. So that was fun. We got to hear from Rachel and Adam and Heather and myself, right? I got to share thoughts with you, which I do every day here anyway. But I was just thinking about as we end the week, a couple of things to have our attention on that I think could help you advance in your business, despite the fact that it's going to be a weekend. And quick reminder, I'm not going to be here with you next week at all. I'm going to be off grid. So you guys play nice together. I mean, obviously the room is open. You can go live or do whatever you want to do. We may have someone filling in a couple of days anyway next week. But for the most part, you guys are going to be on your own. And so we're going to see who, if people want to take ownership of this. Keep the train moving while I'm gone. It's very rare that I'm off the grid, but that's going to happen. So, but I was just thinking in retrospect to everything we've covered this week so far, and your intention for being here, and the reason that you show up every day or however often you do. To what end? To what end are you doing that? And I was thinking that with all of the training that you've been going through with your low hanging system membership, as well as the mindset stuff that I introduce you to, or that I attempt to put your attention on. I was thinking if you just took the training in terms of the methods and coupled that with a good dose of self esteem and expectation, you're going to do some great stuff here. Something that came up for me yesterday as I was looking at, we had a couple hundred people on a webinar. I was looking at the times that many of us have come out of or are coming out of, and the upswing, the inevitable upswing, and I use that word purposefully, the inevitable upswing that you're all very capable of experiencing. And I was thinking, no matter what you've done up to this point or haven't done, now is the day where you can sort of hit the reset button and set some intentions and expectations for the next, let's say 30, 90 days, right? Set a timeline and set some like pretty specific expectations for yourself. So let's say you've been like Susan's been hanging around with us for a few months, right? She knows stuff. She's got a head full of John Lavenia philosophy, whether she likes it or not. Okay. So what can she do with that, knowing that she has come this far, looking back, and where she would like to be moving forward? One of the books that I've been reviewing recently not one on your reading list, but the main premise of the author is that you should not measure yourself against, some ideal out in the future, but you should recognize and be grateful for how far you've actually come. And this is an idea that's come up for us a couple of times in these talks, where someone may look or maybe self-deprecating, oh, you know what, I haven't achieved my goals yet or whatever. But if you look at where you've been and the fact that you've survived, right? I mean, you're still here. Look, there's been the world's been an interesting place for the last couple of years. Okay. And I won't go deeper into that because everyone's got a different interpretation of what that means. But the fact that you're reaching higher now and that you're engaging in your own development, your own ability, right? Which is a great thing to invest in, your own ability to earn and to produce, the lifestyle and the things that you want to have accompanying you on this journey. That is a highly esteemable thing. I heard someone say, well, if you want good self-esteem, do esteemable things. Which, I mean, it sounds simple, but my goodness, if I even look at my own writing, integrity is everything, right? So what does that mean? That means that, if I don't have my own integrity, well, I've really got no shot, right? I got to at least be able to trust myself and show up when I say I'm going to show up and do the things that I've determined for myself that I'm going to do. And so if we just recognize that yeah, you've got a higher level of intention and action and doing this and results than you did before. Well, that's a thing that can build your own esteem. But moving forward, I think a lot of times people, they only look at what they haven't done, which can affect our confidence that we can do. Something that Scott Barker talks about all the time. Everybody knows Scott. If you've been on any of these calls at all, Scott from Australia. He's, he talks a lot about people will not attempt that which they don't think they can accomplish. And if we keep looking at what we haven't accomplished yet as some sort of a barometer for our own expectations, then I think we look amiss. Yeah, I think we look amiss. Can we not validate ourselves and say, well, I may not have, achieved the, fame and fortune or whatever, Lamborghinis or whatever, why ever you're here yet, but does that define who I am? What I have or don't have at the moment? Okay, I'll tell you one thing you do have, hopefully you do have, is a good dose of self-belief, a good dose of I can. So whatever you've got to do to build that confidence in yourself, because confidence comes from having succeeded in things in life, right? How many times have you, I don't know, boiled an egg? Probably lots of times, right? Are you confident that you can boil an egg? Or if that's not your thing, make toast, right? Pick something simple, okay? Because you'll see the truth of, the basic concept here is that you're confident that you can because you already have again and again and again. That doesn't mean you've done it perfectly every time or that sometimes come out better or worse than other times. But the point is that you don't approach the toaster with trepidation because, oh no, now I've got to confront the toaster. And I don't know, I mean, can I really do? I mean, other people could do it, but they're special, they've got special toasters or I mean, this sounds silly, right? This sounds silly, but you could see, the underlying philosophy of it is that you have no problem engaging the toaster because you've done it and you can. Is it not the same person who is now approaching a couple more moving parts than the toaster? I get it. Okay, now you're dealing with Amazon and Etsy shutting your account down and they can't get the Gear Bubble integration working right. Okay, so there's a few more moving parts. I get it. Okay, but is it not the same competent person who is now approaching this machinery and this marketplace, which you're a part of, by the way? You're not just the purveyor of, print on demand e-commerce materials, right? You're also the purchaser. Has anyone here ever bought a coffee mug or a t-shirt? Yeah, of course, right? So it's not like some foreign thing that you're engaging in, which is, as a little tangent, kind of funny because I do know that we have married couples here where the spouse is antagonistic towards the other one as far as, engaging in this sort of a business with assumptions that this is a scam or something. Meanwhile, there's a cardboard box that shows up on their doorstep every day. So proof of concept is there, whether we're willing to look or not. And so what I'm asking you to do is to validate yourself, despite whether or not you have antagonistic forces in your life, and who doesn't, okay, but to know that you can, because you already have. We're just going to do it by a greater degree, and we're going to use some different methods, and we're going to profit from these things, just like you profited from your successful operation of the toaster. You got to eat toast. That's fantastic, very profitable. Okay, we're going to just raise the game a little bit here, knowing that we can. You've caused other things to happen in your life. Now you're going to cause this. Okay. Yes, more moving parts. I got it. That's fine. Good news. You've got the training manual, right? You got the instruction manual for this deal, right? How many parents do we have here? And you never got the instruction manual on that and that opportunity. So I'd say if you could do that, well, can you do this? Guys, stack the deck in your favor. Look for all the reasons why you can. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or think you can't, either way, you're right. So stack the deck in your favor, right? Look for the evidence of not only can you, but you have here, you have there, success, accomplishment, boiled egg, toast, right? Parenting, your successful career, your job, whatever you've done. Same person showing up here now. Well, that's good. And here's to go further with that. And this is kind of what we talked about a bit for those of you who are involved in our webinar yesterday, is that, well, since you know that you're going to show up and do it, well, are you a good investment? Do you bet on you? I guess would be a good question, right? To the degree where you are not only seeking to accelerate, to advance yourself, your business, your lifestyle, and to do that as expeditiously as possible, but do you believe in yourself enough to invest in yourself and accelerate that process to the point where you can, well, first of all, not do it all alone, because there's no leverage in that, but also to see yourself. Here's where I was going with this yesterday, and some of you were not privy to this, but to see yourself not as an outsider looking in at those, few special people who make money doing these sort of things, but as an insider, as the future, as someone who's not just, the student, but also, someone who's causative. In other words, who's effective, who's executing these ideas to great effect in their own lives and even inspiring others. Right? I mean, how do you think that any of these, coaches that you guys have, right? The e-commerce coaches, right? How'd they get to be coaches? Well, they became competent at doing the thing to the point where they're now competent at teaching the thing, right? You don't get to just show up and be a coach. Now, I know in some programs that is the case, right? It's like anybody can put the expert, name tag on and go talk about whatever. I think we've got a bit more substance here, so that's good. But why not you? I don't know that you have aspirations to be on staff or whatever. Okay, but maybe you really specialize in something, like you get really, really good at that thing. Adam's not a specialist at everything. Heather's not a specialist at everything, right? She's a specialist in this area. She talked to some of us about optimizing your listings, search engine optimization, stuff like that, right? She's really good at that. I suck at that. Yeah. Okay. Well, so we're not looking for you to be all things to all people, okay? But to hone your craft to the point where you're among the best. And then you're an asset. You're an asset not only to yourself, right, and your enterprise, but to anyone who comes into contact with you. There is a doctrine which I got from Wallace Wattles out of The Science of Getting Rich, which is a book I've quoted to you guys before. And it's the idea of the impression of increase, the impression of increase. So no matter what you're engaged in, and some of us have talked about this before, but no matter what you're engaged in, you want to impress the other or others with increase. In other words, to leave people, no matter what the interaction is, to leave people with an impression that, you know, their life is better having met you. Hopefully I'm doing that with you all here. It's my intention to impress you with increase, and not for my sake. Okay, this is just a way of being. This is a principle which is higher than personalities. Okay, you may think, oh, this crazy Italian guy, John Lavinia, whatever. I think Rachel's cool, but I don't know about this guy, John. That's fine. Whatever the personalities are, but the principles come first. Okay, and so the principle of increase, which is something that we're all obviously interested in. I mean, you can just look around planet Earth, everything's about increase, right? The tree grows, right? The grass, right? Which I got to get mowed. My hair, right? Increase, more, right? Or death, right? Disintegration. We're either expanding or contracting. Nothing rests, right? So if you're about increase and you impress other people with that, well, they're going to be drawn to you. You're about life. You're about advancement. You're about increase. Waddle said in the book, even if you're just selling a stick of candy to a child, right? That child leaves with an impression of increase. I mean, picture that. This was written in 1910. So here you are, the general store, the kid comes in with his nickel or whatever, you give him the stick of licorice or whatever, and he leaves, but he leaves also with a pat on the head and, great, thanks for shopping here, and hope you love the candy. And then the kid feels good about himself, and he goes, tells his friends, and he comes back with more kids and more nickels. So you profited again. Okay. I guess what's the alternative? I know I'm at a bit of a tangent now, but these are the principles which guide my life. Okay. So the alternative is the crabby, store clerk. What do you want? I actually experienced this. I wrote about this in Integrity is Everything. There's a big difference between showing up at the gourmet coffee place like Starbucks or something versus showing up at the local, convenience store where somebody's making minimum wage and, doesn't even want to be there. Right. So not that I'm assuming that people at Starbucks want to be there, but in one case, I paid $4 for gourmet coffee that had my name on it and it was made to order and service with a smile. In the other case, it was, 78 cents. And, is that it? Right. Is that it? That's how you're greeted at the counter. So you see the difference there? You see the difference, right? So the impression of increase. People, I guess I'll just end off with this and then I'll open it up as we always do to hear any thoughts that are brewing inside of your noggins there. So there are people selling on Amazon. Here's an item. And with that item, you get the thank you card. You get maybe some special packaging or wrapping or whatever. You get the follow-up, email. I had this recently. What was it? I bought some item and I got the follow-up email. We hope you're delighted with the item. Please leave the positive feedback and all this. And by the way, here's a little leaflet of some of the other items that we make that you may be interested in as well. All right. So that was a little bit more than just the item. I'll leave you with one more example of this. And this is something I got, and this doesn't directly relate to e-commerce, but just the principle of increase. Okay. This is something I got from a guy named Dean, who is a big shot in the real estate world. And he talked about surprise and delight. Okay. So surprising and delighting your customer. He said, there's this diner that he goes to whenever he's in New York City. I don't know if it's still there anymore with whatever's going on in New York City right now, but you go into this restaurant and be seated at a table. And before he even got the menu, they would bring little pastries. And that is, he didn't order it, but that's just a courtesy of the house, right? So if you're sitting at one of our tables, you get the little pastries. Okay. And here's your menu. And he keeps coming back to this diner whenever he's in town. Well, I wonder why that is, right? Surprise and delight. Oh, how delightful, right? I didn't even order these. The impression of increase. Guys, it works, is the bottom line. Whatever personality nuances you have, it works. Who's got some thoughts on this? Whatever this topic is today, we're keeping it pretty loose on Fun Friday. Come on down. Any thoughts on our? Yes, Jay, welcome, sir.
Hi, welcome. I'm thinking about levels of success and, how do we let in that and not overwhelm ourselves and not say, well, day one, I want to make $3.2 million. Be realistic about it, especially when we don't have someone in our life that is supportive of us. Sometimes we'll take on that, their beliefs or their thoughts or their perspective about things, where we need to probably disconnect from that to serve us. It's good that they have maybe our best interest in heart, that they don't want us to get conned, but we need to be realistic. And is an opportunity a real opportunity? Are these people really authentic? And can I move forward? So there's all that.
Okay. So I'm not sure if that's a direct question or you're just having considerations that you're vocalizing, but I will tell you that one of the things that I've had to do is offset or counter any negative influences by immersing myself in the environment where the success I seek is not only a theory, but a demonstrable reality. So as much as someone may be antagonistic towards you, and that can be a personal thing, the proof of concept is already there. Here's a silly little example. Someone says, you can't speak Japanese. Okay, well, maybe at the moment I can't. Okay, but then you take your trip to Japan, and then everywhere you go is Japanese for real, not just in theory. It's Japanese, and you're speaking it. A little bit, right? So much for that assertion that you can't. You just immerse yourself in an environment where the speaking of Japanese is quite real, and now I'm participating. Okay, so sometimes we just have to get laser focused on demonstrating and proving naysayers wrong. That happens sometimes, right? But demonstrating that we actually can. I take that as a great motivation. Great motivation. You'll never be successful at that. I was in the music business, Jay. I had a band, and we were told, "Oh, you'll never amount to anything." And granted, it was a metal band, right? So it wasn't like a big, money maker. But my goodness, do we have a blast? We produced music, CDs, T-shirts. We got known all over the world. So much for the naysayers, right? So anything you can do to I guess assess the source. Maybe they've got your best interest in mind. Maybe they don't. I mean, some people, the only way they feel okay about themselves is by cutting other people down.
Precisely, yeah. Micromanagers. And we can micromanage ourselves, but is this stuff empowering for ourselves? So we have to assess things, maybe on a hourly or weekly or monthly or yearly basis to see, it's like, is this like a conscious thought that I'm choosing to have that empowers me, or is it disempowering me? Whether it's something, a voice in my head, or someone in my life. So how does it? I'm sure, in your metal band, you learned important lessons in life. So,
well, yeah, I mean, that was more of a creative thing, which, look, everyone here is creating stuff. And with the purpose of, commerce, our reward was, performing the music and getting some applause and selling some T-shirts or whatever, but it wasn't a moneymaker. Joan, the band was Torture Crypt out of New Jersey. Crypt was spelled with a K. So just in case you want to get crazy, go find some of that from the archives. We're going back 25, 30 years.
But if
Anyway,
you were,
although I
you were
do
to-
have,
if you were
some,
to do the same thing again that you did then, going from day one, wouldn't you make some adjustments to it?
well, yeah, yeah, of course, of course. And so great question. But it depends on the intent. If I was to start a band right now, assuming I had the free time to do that, with what, to what end? To what end? And if it's just the gratification of musical expression, oh, okay, fine, then that. But if it was like a business, oh, I know so much more about business than I did 25, 30 years ago, obviously, right? And we were all broke. We are just a bunch of kids, playing metal, like whatever. So, and we're working jobs, right? To fund our musical habit. Oh my goodness. Great questions. Thank you. Jay, I want to have more time with you, and we're going to have more time together. Let's go to I saw Sandra had a hot mic, and then we got a few hands up. Sandra, do you have a comment, my friend?
Yeah, I can relate to Jay's negativity. I was raised that way. My mom was real negative, so I have that mom tape running in my head. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. So to prove that she was wrong, I went out and became a television broadcast technician. And for a while, when I first started out in 1985, I was the only female broadcast technician in town out of all the TV stations.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to try really hard to turn those tapes off. I've been trying my whole life to erase them. So I just got, my job just got automated. So my self-esteem is in the toilet right now. They let me go after 22 years. So this is something I feel I can do. I just need help getting started.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're getting
Like
started.
For instance, Amazon, Etsy, and eBay, when you sign up, how do they know you're part of this low-hanging system and they don't charge you for it? Is there a code or something?
Well, no, they charge you for it. Gear Bubble, you get a year of Gear Bubble, right? So that's a fulfillment house. But here's what you do. If you want to get into the weeds with like specific logistical questions, Sandra, help at lowhangingecom.com is the help desk. Help at lowhangingecom.com, and the Facebook group. You can search, like just type any words you want in the little search field there, and questions have been answered probably multiple times, right? And different topic discussions and things like that. Yeah, I mean, these are just part of the prerequisites to you actually doing business, is getting these things set up. Okay. And I have no doubt that you can. You're very able, Sandra. Very able.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think so.
And look, one door closes, another opens, right? I mean,
Yes.
maybe you've outgrown your space at that job. It's time for your next adventure.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, who wants to read a book where it's just the same chapter, like the whole damn book? Right? Let's write another chapter.
Boring.
Yeah. Right. All right. Good times. Sandra, ladies and gentlemen, good to see you, my friend. We got Alex and Shaquille and Catherine, and then Jay got their hands up. Alec, you got the floor, sir.
Yes, sir. You had, I can't remember exactly what it is that you said right now. I think it was like the
It was
impression
awesome.
of advancement.
The impression of increase. That's Wallace Wattles,
impression of
1910, Science of Getting Rich. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, well, it's because that really stuck with me with when I went to go take a shower earlier, and as I looked at myself, I was like, okay, a few months ago, you were using a cane to walk around. You were legitly using a cane just to get from point A to point B. Now, I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect when it comes to jump roping or anything. I still can't even run without my legs, starting to drag. But the point is, I don't have to use a cane to walk around to do my walk, because I do a walk every day. Sometimes that's all I'll do is I'll just walk for the next hour, and that's all I'll do. But when you were talking about the impression of increase, that really hit me, because I thought about it, and it's like, wait a minute. Months ago, you were crying about not being able to move anymore. Now, that's all I really want to do. So, impression of increase. That's just one thing that really stuck with me. And fun Friday. Everybody have a good weekend.
You too, brother. Glad you're here, Alec. I'm seeing people in the chat talking about my old band. Don't judge me, okay? It's crazy heavy metal and it's art, and you may or may not like it. It's like horror movie theme kind of stuff. Some of you are going to be shocked if you actually listen to it. All right. Yeah, that's John on vocals. Holy crap. Hey, Shaquille, come on out, brother. What's going on with you?
What's up, my guy? Always good to talk to you. Hey, man, I was before I hopped on the call, I was working out and jamming to excuse me, Motorhead.
Lemmy and the gang.
One, yeah, Lemmy Kilmister, one of my favorites. So I can't wait to start working out to some Torture Crib.
Oh no!
Very soon.
Oh.
John, the more I find out about you, man, the cooler you get, dude. Like,
oh man,
you're like a biker, you got guns, you're a rock star, you're buff, you're funny, dude. Like, man, I want to be like you when I grow up. But what I wanted to kind of speak to here was kind of the idea of antagonists, and that life, it works in sort of like in like a story form. You know what I mean? There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's trials throughout, you overcome them, and there's an arc to it all, right? And in a story, if there's no antagonist, then there can be like no hero. Otherwise, it's just a character. So in a way, those people who kind of, push you and give you a hard time about what you're, doing or not doing and stuff like that, I love the angle that we're coming at it from, is to go ahead and prove them wrong using the example of, going to do immersion training in Japanese. It's like the same thing with e-commerce. Like, that's why I make it a point to tune in to these calls every day, like as much as I can, to immerse myself in John, right? Or in you guys' energy as a whole. And that even without the people, like that, there doesn't even have to be anyone telling you that you can't do it. A lot of times it will be you. And so, because a lot of times we can be our own worst enemies. And with that being said, I like a quote, or like a state of mind that I kind of got from David Goggins, a retired Navy SEAL and legend, that he was talking about that back when he was like 300 pounds and he was training to get into the Navy training program, BUDS, and he was having a hard time, and they were telling him that only, I think, 46 Black like SEALs have ever existed. And he was like, even though he was 300 pounds and that he failed his test to get in the like written test like twice or one time. All I know is that he failed it, and that it was hard for him. He told himself that he was like, what if I could be number 47? And it's like, what if it was me? Like, what if I can do it? Like that what if is always an inspiring thing to look at least for me. Just that prospect that, what if you could be the first person in your family or in your immediate group of people to have a cracking e-commerce business, and make it work and pay all your, you know, bills and buy all your toys and stuff. Like, what if it was you? Like, that is a heck of a prospect, you know? Why not do everything you can to, you know, to see if you could, or if it could be you, if you are that person, you know? Because deep inside you are. To even want to take a crack at doing a thing like, you know, like this, you do kind of have a sort of a belief that you can, you know. It's just a matter of consistency and doing your homework, so to speak. So yeah, I just wanted to chime in with that and to say happy Friday. I don't have a joke today, but
That's all right.
I might come back with one. So
Laugh
give me-
just looking at you makes us laugh. That's it.
Hey, I can't wait to go and listen to some Torture Chris, so I can have a good laugh.
All right, good. So what Shaq just said, as far as like antagonism and rising out of it, right? We could see it as a blessing, not only to keep life interesting, but also, you know, how many multi-generational wealthy families have declined, right? Here's the kid with the silver spoon or whatever. And then the next generation, next thing you know, the wealth is gone, right? But grandpa was the one who, you know, worked by the sweat of his brow and blah, 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 right? So being able to rise out of adversity is an opportunity. It's an opportunity, right? Nothing's being handed to you. Well done, right? You get to be the guy above the mantle at the fireplace. Yeah, there's Grandpa Shaquille. He's the one where the buck stopped there. He's the one that put the family on the map, right? I mean, if we're going to visualize stuff, let's go for it. Yeah. Anyway, glad you're here, brother. All right, Catherine, and then we're going to wrap up with Jay. Catherine, I love Catherine. She's awesome. Hi, Catherine.
Hey, thanks, John. Sorry, I was a little bit late. I was actually on with the customer before this. I came on as you were talking, sorry, excuse me, talking about impression of increase. And that is something I've been working so hard on developing lately, is just making sure that, you know, when I'm talking to a customer, that I'm upbeat, that there's a smile in my voice, you know, that I'm there to help them. You know, and I love that book. I reread it about once a month.
Oh,
So
good.
I want to say thank you for that.
You're
And
so
yeah, I'm going to go
welcome.
listen to Torture Clip afterwards too.
Oh no! I shouldn't have opened my mouth. Oh my goodness!
I
It's
found you on
extreme.
Facebook,
Yeah,
and
it's
somebody even had videos of some of your old stuff. So hey, that might be out there.
wow.
We're gonna have to go look,
Wow.
John.
Yeah. You know, what's funny too about that. Thank you, Catherine. I got a guy who contacted me recently. He wants to do a reissue of the old material. I was like, really? People are still interested in that? And after 25, 30 years, he's like, yeah, these kids, all they know is the new stuff. I play them the old stuff and they're like, oh man, listen to that. So anyway, yeah, I guess metal is still alive in the world. Jay, final word to you, sir.
Yeah. When our source of income is no longer, they go out of business or we get fired or whatever, we can see it as them being disrespectful or ungrateful toward us. We see it kind of as a negative thing. And then you hear stories about later on that people say, wow, that was the best thing that I ever, that ever happened to me. So, and they're grateful for it. And they never would have done it if they didn't get that push, so to speak.
Right. Thank you, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
We got to be able to look ahead a little bit, right? I think that's what we're talking about. When we talk about expectations, right? And we had a fun little visual here of, Grandpa Shaq above the mantle, right? He's the guy who put the family on the map, right? Okay. I mean, people say, not you. Well, why not you? So now we just need to go demonstrate that, right? Demonstrate your intention. And slay the dragons and do all the drama stuff that leads up to it. Okay. But like what Sandra was talking about, or that we were talking about together, is the idea of writing that chapter. You write that chapter. Anyway, guys, I'm going to miss you. I'm going to be away for a week. So, so there's that. I'll be sending you the cosmic, thoughts and all that. And of course you got Shaquille here with you. So he'll make sure that everyone stays all energized. And get with your accountability reps, keep on trucking through your accelerator materials. And when I get back, I want to hear about some wins. Okay. So look at this progress. Look, I've made my first sale. Look, I've got, my accounts set up, right? I overcame the barriers, right? I solved the problems, right? So consider that. I'm going to be expecting that when I hear from you guys again. So have a great weekend. We'll see you all again real soon. Bye for now.
Safe travels, John.